Okay, we're going to call up our sixth school, and it is Meeteetse Schools from Meeteetse, Wyoming. Good morning.
Morning.
All right, take a look at your video.
Over the years, the greater Yellowstone ecosystem has seen a dramatic decrease in the population of a native species of fish known as the Yellowstone cutthroat trout. More than 90% of the cutthroat trout's historical range has been lost. A large portion of the cutthroat trout population inhabits the Graybull River. Game and Fish came and explained the unique characteristics of the Yellowstone cutthroat trout and their genetic differences from other species of trout. They talked about which fish are native here and explained their needs from their surroundings. The historical range and importance of trout in Wyoming was a huge part of their presentation. Habitat degradation, overfishing, and water use have impacted the natural balance of the area. Any negative changes that occur to the Yellowstone cutthroat trout can have a domino effect to other species within the ecosystem.
In partnership with Trout Limited, a local rancher has identified a need for a trout screen design to prevent fish from being lost into his irrigation canal and pipes. Our class went to the site in which we are designing a fish screen to prevent a fish loss. We took measurements and drawings of the surroundings to use on our design.
So tell me, how did this get onto your radar? You know, why preserve the cutthroat trout?
It's been quite a big, it's been a problem in our community because we're always losing trout. They're on the list of, they're not on the endangered list, but they're threatened. So, but we can have some real problems if they go onto the endangered list. Like, if the federal agencies do have to step in, they're going to put limitations on the water, and that's going to cause problems for agriculture and mineral and oil extraction, and also ecotourism. And and so since water is the lifeblood of Wyoming, we have to really keep these cutthroat trout protected, which is what Trout Unlimited has talked to us about, and we have been talking to them about solutions for it.
Right?
We didn't get to see in the video your design or development of your screens. Could you walk us through how you came up with that and the design?
Well, we made a design. We just took some scrap metal from the ag class, and we made a design, and we got some screen, and we looked at different angles. We were going to do a curved angle, and we just figured out it was catching all of the debris, and it'd be kind of harder to put a automated brush to swipe all the debris off of it. So we decided to do just a straight angle, so it wasn't catching anything, so it'll come in and just bounce off and keep going downstream. It'll be easier to put the automated brush on it to just push it downriver, as well as we found the right punch plate size so that the smaller, younger trout can't make it through that and keep going down, so they don't get caught in the gated pipes of the irrigation and die, which would be bad.
So essentially your design is capturing the debris from the river.
It's preventing the fish from entering the irrigation channel. What this does for farmers is it costs them a lot of money to remove the fish from the actual irrigation pipes, and it's also killing the fish, and they can't return to the actual stream system to spawn. And like Colton was just saying, we had to determine the actual hole size because there's a specific amount of water that needs to flow into the irrigation channel, approximately 6 to 8 feet or cubic feet per second. So we used 5/16 inch hole size, and this will also prevent the younger Yellowstone cutthroat trout from entering the channel.
So who owns the irrigation canals and the place you put the streams, and what agencies did you have to work with and present your information to?
The people who own the actual irrigation and the diversion dam that we're specifically working on is a local ranch called the Pitchfork Ranch. And the agencies that we work with were Wyoming Game and Fish and Trout Unlimited.
And is everyone on board with this?
Yeah, they were really enthusiastic about picking up our project, and they understood the importance of this fish to our community, and they basically knew that we could take this really far and actually have an impact on other irrigation and diversion dams in the area.
In addition, after we presented this to the rancher and to Trout Unlimited officials, and after designer giving this professional proposal design, basically just as engineers would be, they actually reapproached us and were so impressed with our design that we are now in Matisse School next year going to begin the fabrication and the installation of this screen design for them. This will be everything from being able to go into the budget of it. There will be math classes that will probably be watching over the cost analysis, the budget, where we're at, all the way through the welding classes, being able to fabricate it, all the way to the installation then of the automated screen design, the solar panels that will actually be being able to automate that brush as well. So this has really expanded beyond the view of what we were even hoping, and it's going to be quite a development for the TC schools, without a doubt.
Well, that's great, thank you. We'll go to the judges. What's the hardest part about developing this?
Sounds like you got a lot of support.
The hardest part would have to be initially trying to decide what we needed to remove the debris and exactly just the entire design in general. We all had a whole bunch of different research or ideas that we got from research and designs and plans that we wanted to use, and we had to come together and kind of like unify to decide on what we wanted to use specifically for this diversion dam.
And I think you mentioned this, but could you speak a little bit more about whether or not this is scalable or repeatable with other streams and other irrigation channels?
There are a lot of these actually in the area on a bunch of tributaries to the Grable River. There's actually a ginormous sized one that feeds the upper Sunshine Reservoir. And there are a lot of fish getting sucked into these areas that are dying. And so we could really use this design as a basis for all these other ones that we could potentially save a heck of a lot of fish.
I understand you use GPS data, so I was wondering where you got that data from and then how did it help you?
Okay, we got it from Game and Fish, and they have never analyzed it. We were the first ones. We put it in, and we really tracked the movement of each and every fish, which was my favorite part in general. And then we also used it to plot the point of, we actually found the diversion dam, which is really tiny and it's kind of hard to find on Google Earth Pro. But we found it and kind of plotted out where we were going to put the solar panels to automate the brush, where it'll get some sunshine. And yeah, that's what we use GIS for. So cool.
So the fish had trackers on them? Or?
Yeah, they have tags in them. I was actually one of the students there. It was a couple years ago. We tagged about 20 fish, and I'm one of the students that's been working with Trout Unlimited for 2 years now, and we have tracked these fish and seen the movement above the big diversion dam because there's a fish ladder in it. So we're just kind of tracking a lot of fish.
And I really want to impress upon that with this GIS data, once again, these GPS points, they have been collected and has been stored in a file. Our school is the first ones to have taken that data and actually done anything with it. And these students, as well as other students within the school, we are the first ones to actually being able to look at this data on a GIS platform and really truly being able to analyze it. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of latitude, longitude points, and they're actually being able to start to make sense of it even before the biologists have actually got their hands on it and actually done anything with it. So, pretty impressive.
As far as the data analysis went, was there a steep learning curve on how to interpret the data, or was it pretty straightforward?
it was kind of difficult with Google Earth Pro because unlike ArcGIS, you have to do things a little differently. And the data they gave us was northing and easting. So we had to convert all of it. So it was kind of difficult to convert all the data and then put it all in because it's a little more, I don't know, not so straightforward as ArcGIS. So you have to go through kind of a long process of getting all this data into the program.
So do you feel like you've gained like a skill of data analysis that you can use in the future?
Yeah, and it really, they use this in a lot of careers. So I think with this that it'll help a lot of people with their learning. It was really fun. I really like GIS.
Great, all right, we're out of time for your group, but thank you very much.